The studios of Classic 105.5, 105.9. I want to say good morning and welcome to our viewers that have just joined us on GBN's Channel 7 and Channel 11, Channel 20. For those of you that is on cable, and welcome to the televised edition of the Mid-Morning Buzz. It's your boy JC here with you, and it's always a pleasure being here and keeping you company in the mid-morning. My guest this morning, he isn't a stranger, not by any stretch of the imagination, to the GBN, and I think to any one of us here. But we interfaced with him within the last couple of weeks as part of the build-up to our 47th anniversary of independence. That's the celebration of that is. And he's Mr. John Williams, and he is the chair of the National Celebrations Committee. And as you could well appreciate, with COVID, everything this for 2021, it was in fact the COVID edition. So I want to say good morning to you, sir. Morning, Mr. Williams. How are you?
I am well. Good morning to you, Mr. Cadore. Good morning to your listeners and your viewers. And good morning to Grenada per se. It's good to be back. Thanks for the invite.
Thanks for having
I'm a regular, and I really appreciate coming on. And I hope this continues, and I hope it's not just for now, because we have a lot to talk about in independence, and we don't intend to just run it 4 weeks before. We want to do it at least 6 months before, so the public can be educated, as you've said many times in your program, and for us to be better educated about independence and what independence means to us and what it ought to mean to us. So thanks again. It's good to be here.
Well, thanks.
I look forward to the morning.
Thanks for accepting. It only takes a spark to get things going. I am here, you were here, so let's do this. COVID Independence 2021, the COVID edition. It came with a number of challenges. Just COVID by itself, it threw a lot into the spiral. But before we get into any of the specifics as it is, just give me your overall thoughts on the celebrations as it unfolded and was executed for this year.
Okay, thanks again. I don't want to appear to be pig-headed or big-headed, but it's often said, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. But from where I sat as the chairman of the Celebrations Committee, I must say I'm very, very impressed. I thought last year was good, but this year with the team and with the effort and what happened despite COVID, I must say, Joseph, I am very, very impressed. It's hard to sit down and to say, okay, this went wrong, that went wrong. I know things did go as not as exactly as planned, but I would say 95% of the activities of the production in particular went exceptionally well, and I see that in the response of my family and friends in the UK and in the US and Canada and all the people who are tuned in on the various media platforms. I must say kudos to everyone, kudos to the production team, to the volunteers, to the band, and I will talk about it in details as we go through. It was something that I was very, very impressed with, in that we were initially concerned virtual. It was the first time we've ever embarked on such an initiative. And as we've been saying, the COVID-19 pandemic moved us in ways we weren't prepared for. But in truth and in fact, at the end of it, and when I look at the production and get the response from the public, I must say I feel justifiably proud, and not just the committee, but Grenada should feel proud of its celebrations for this year. So before I go into details, as I summarize from my perspective, I'm open to people call in and say otherwise, and bringing things to the fore. But yes, I thought we had a tremendous celebrations of our 47th anniversary of independence, and kudos to everyone, and I will speak to it in detail.
I would have been a little bit concerned if there was a case where you got 100% acceptance and agreement with everybody. The day everybody agrees that it went well, I would be completely worried, because it means it doesn't leave much room for improvement. So that is fine.
I agree. That's why I said 95%. There's always room for the 5, and I'm open to it. I want people to call in and to be able to speak to that. And I'm sure when my colleague Sherry Ann comes on and she speaks, I believe she's on, but when she speaks, maybe the things that I might have missed, Sherry Ann, would not, she not mix her words. She would say, Mr. Chair, I'd like to advise you, however. So I'm open to that. From where I'm sitting,
I still think Sherry,
I'm very pleased.
Well, as you said, she has in fact joined us, and she is today the person that, because it was a team effort, no doubt, and for Sherry, and it was about ensuring that the public, Grenada at large, is aware of what's happening, and she certainly did a phenomenal job in ensuring that. Sherian, you work tirelessly, having to balance between your daily office functions at GIS and still being able to get a lot of different parts moving all at once. I know it was stressful, but your overall thoughts, though, now that you're getting a chance just to sit back, relax, and take it all in. Independence Celebrations
Joseph,
2021.
First of all, let me thank you for giving us the opportunity to do a wrap on your mid-morning program, and also to say good morning to all your viewers and listeners. I must say that the 47th anniversary of our independence, while it happened in a challenging time, I am very pleased with the outcome. While most people was a little hesitant, oh, Sherian, this virtual stage business, and we not being able to go here and there, I must say the general sentiments has been more positive than negative. Yes, we welcome some of the responses from people. We would have heard when we had the Calypso competition, some people felt that 6 o'clock was a bit too early for them. Well, we will take that on board. So if in the future we have to move to have it that way again, then the entire committee could look at that and say, well, okay, part of the reason why we did not have 10,000 viewers was because it was at 6 o'clock. But apart from that timing being an issue, the general public who had the opportunity to view the Calypso competition, the cultural extravaganza, and the military parade, I must tell you, they were very pleased in terms of the quality that came out, in terms of production, in terms of the commentary team with the information, in terms of educating, and most importantly, the talents that we had on display. I must say that the Calypsos in 2021 were very good. The lyrics were on point. The presentation, the delivery, the band, the Back in Time band, that was very good. And our culture on this Saturday, very, very good. So I think overall, these celebrations went very well. The virtual stage has taught us a lot. It was the first time in which not only being involved on a committee, but following independence promotions, and so that, we had interviews happening in the United States. We had interviews happening in London, in the United Kingdom. We had on a regional basis, and we also had from someone in Canada. So it was widespread. So COVID really did something positive for us in terms of finding other means to get the information out. And I must say that our local media outfits, including yours, did us justice in terms of getting the information out, so people knew where, when, what, and why it was happening.
And one of the things, not just for the independence celebration, but I think COVID-19, as it is, has taken us into a new frontier. We somehow would have gotten there in time, but we got thrusted into it. And as you've agreed, even for us in the media, Sherry, you would agree that it has changed the landscape in how we do things. We've gotten used to, let me invite you into the studio, and we have those nice interactions. But all of a sudden now, you recognize, listen.
We just via Zoom, or you call on the phone, or WeChat, and this and the other. It's so many different avenues now. Maybe that if we knew of those before, we may not have been beating up ourselves up and down in the hot sun on a daily basis. We just sat at the office and call and say, hey, Joseph, I need a comment on this. Mr. Williams, I need a comment on that. You understand? But
exactly.
As we say, COVID has its negative, but it really brought out the best in a lot of us.
It brought out the best in all of us, and it brought out the best in the National Celebrations Committee. The celebration started with the build-up to it. Let's talk about that. The build-up to some of the major events being the Calypso competition, the highlight being the military parade. But let's take it in gear. The build-up to it. It was a bit delayed because of COVID, but notwithstanding that, how would you measure in terms of what you achieved based on your initial objective, what you would have realized out of the build-up of all of it?
Well, looking back at it, we had a late start. I think we would have launched somewhere around the 15th or so of January, because as you said before, based on the COVID, we were not sure what is going to happen. We really wanted to ensure that people got the opportunity to feel and have a sense of pride and not feel, okay, it's COVID, so nothing is going to happen for independence. So we went on a campaign, and I think we did fairly well with the campaign. Mr. Williams would have gone out and spoken on various media outfits, the members from the RGPF, myself, and other members of the committee. So we went out on that campaign, and we got people talking. We got people wanting to be a part. We encourage you. Wear your national colors. And importantly so this year, the National Celebrations Committee and Facebook page, which is mainly manned by Jazel Sylvester. A lot of information went up there. You understand? Where people learned different aspects of our culture and so. So I believe the build-up was good. If we were to rate ourselves, maybe we can give ourselves a terms of an 8 out of a 10 in terms of what we did to get people knowing what's happening. We had the Calypsonians, we had Mr. Mark speaking and so. So I would rate us 8 out of 10 in terms of publicity to get people in the know as to what is going to be happening for our celebration.
Because success is not just measured because of the fact it was COVID. Traditionally, you would measure success based on attendance. And do you think, how much of a challenge was that? And I'll show this to both of you. Because now you're not able to say, well, and you don't have to argue. Folks, the stadium was full. We had 1,000 people here. So you don't have to argue. The cameras are there. Now, how do you really measure the success, honestly?
If I know you and Sharon, it's a natural for you, so you two speak on radio and TV naturally, but with me, I'm learning. So if I can just chip in here for 2 minutes, going back to what Sharon said rightly, if you look at our initial program for the start time for the Independence Calypso show, we had it at 8 p.m. and then we went to 7 p.m. and then the penny dropped. Hey guys, we have curfew. we had not taken curfew into consideration. We were operating on the same premise as in the past. And that's the reason, and Sharon could correct me if I'm wrong, we had to go as the lowest common denominator here to 6 p.m. because it meant it would have been a 2.5, 3-hour production. And by the time the band and everyone packed up and get themselves, especially people who lived in the outer parishes, to get home before 10 o'clock, it would have been a mad rush. So we felt the most appropriate of times in order for us to stick to the regulation was to go for the 6 p.m. If it had left up to us and if there were no curfews, then definitely we would have gone back to the original 8 o'clock to allow for us to deal with it at night. And also something I've noticed, my family and friends, especially in Europe, 6 p.m. here is 10 p.m. in the UK. So it gave them an opportunity now to have a better appreciation for the production than if we had started at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. It meant it would have given them up to 11 or 12 o'clock before they had to start. So, as said by Ms. Noel, yes, I think it would have been a concern for us. But I'm pleased to say everyone felt, once they knew the time, everyone just ran home and sat down and enjoyed the show in the comforts of their environment.
I think the only persons probably would have had reservations are those who wanted to place the blame on you and give you being the excuse for them being outside after 11. I think some people just wanted to be outside late, and you can always say, well, officer, I just came from the show.
Sure, exactly.
Of course,
yes,
that's my excuse.
Blame the National Celebrations Committee.
No, and not just the committee. I was just going to blame Sherry on the whole. She knows that. I was going to give you this, Mr. Williams. I was going to give you a free pass, and my girl Sherry, I was going to throw it at her.
Joseph, I agree. She's the public relations officer.
Correct.
She has a responsibility to us and the whole celebration. So I can't take the blame for something else. So I agree with you.
By all accounts, for all accounts, everything went well. Let's look now at the Calypso competition. Sour Serpent and the cast against Sour Serpent defending his title. You thought, Sherry, you were there, and I'm throwing it to you because I know you were not just part of this exercise, but you were part of the art form. You cover mostly all of these events during Carnival, whatever it is. Your thoughts on what you saw went down on the evening?
honestly speaking, I thought it was a well executed show. The the calypso, the compositions were standard. They were very, very good. And the artists delivered. Just imagine you had a competition where, due to the COVID protocols, they were not able to have any big set of presentation. But these guys came, not only guys and ladies, came to the stage, minimal presentation. They delivered a selection, and all of them, the songs were so good. They all had to do with the theme. So I sat there and I was like, okay, all right, Young Song return after 10 years. What a way to start the show. Very nice. Then comes the second one. Then comes the third. I leaned over, I looked, I said, okay, let's see how difficult it would be for Kareem, Alexis, and the guys, because everyone came with the A game. I think it was one of the years when we would have seen better compositions, I would like to say, in my view, because I've been following it since prior. I've been going out to these calypso shows and so, but in my view, I thought they were great selections, and it was a tough job for the judges, because at one point you say, okay, all right, this person have it on top, and then out of the blues,
somebody throws something in the mix.
That's it, and then the defending monarch, Sean Niles, just came and was like, wow. After his selection, you said, okay, let's go down. Then Sheldon came, he was good. And interestingly so, when Stunner finished performed, I said, what? Let's see what's going to happen with Sour Serpent and the rest, because that young man was very, very good as well. So I think it was a good show. As per usual, you don't get everyone who will agree with the judge's decision. And I think one thing that came out of it that we would take on board too, and I shared in our group, is that some of the Calypsonians felt that on that night, while the top 4 was announced, that everyone should have been called to the stage. So we accept that, and next time around we would ensure that you don't just call the top 4 positions, but you acknowledge all who took part in the competition, and then you give out the results. But other than that, Joseph, I know you sat home and you looked at it too. It was great calypsos.
Well, see, you know me, I'm naturally a homeboy, Sharon. You know me, I'm naturally a home. But had you invited me, I was going to show up just to spend the evening with you. Well, looking at the cast, though, for me, what I was particularly, and you probably share your thoughts with me, it offered quite a unique blend. The old legends, the croquetter, the teacher Eddie. You have the man himself who always, Mr. Sean Niles, who always comes ready to deliver on the night. And you had some of the young and the upcoming acts. And it just seemed to offer just a perfect blend for what was a really great 47th anniversary of independence. Mr. Williams?
Yes, well, again, I know that both of you have alluded to certain things that could have happened. But as you rightly said, there isn't such a thing as a perfect world. Unless you're doing an exam, an objective style exam, where you can get 100% because it's multiple choice. It's just tick a box. But on a subjective level, I agree with what the special servant has just said in terms of the whole production and the presentation. You will recall, Joseph, that you and I were in conversation, and I said, compared to years ago, when you would listen to a Trinidadian production, song, Calypsonian, and a Grenadian, and you could, prior to them finishing, you will be able to tell the difference and say, yes, that's Trini, that's Grenada, because of the production,
that's long gone.
The melody and everything, the arrangement. But now it's impossible because Grenada's standard in the past few years have risen to the extent that I believe some would say it has gone above Trinidad, because the whole arrangement is very different. And when I listened to the performance on Saturday, I said to Friday, I did say to you or someone else that these guys weren't coming for an appearance fee. They were coming to compete. And they were coming to make sure that they get the crown. And they did justice, to themselves, to the production. And again, I believe the production team, Sherry Ann and her team, TNR Productions, and all of the Ministry of Culture, the whole presentation, it was well packaged. And in fairness, give Jack what's due to him. I thought they did a tremendous job, everyone, to allow for this production to be at a level. I know there must have been over 30,000 people eventually were able to tune in over the period of time. And the response from the majority, I've not seen many negatives, I must admit, maybe because I've not gone into the right channel for that. But they were giving kudos to the whole production. And at the end of the day, I keep saying, if these things go well, Grenada benefits, because next year more people, if we were to go down that road again, I hope not, but it would allow for people to say, guys, that was good. Come on, let's find out when the Independence Calypso Monarch and the cultural presentations. So again, without going over the top unnecessarily, I just felt the guys, the Calypsonians, the cultural presentation, the artists from Gary, all of them, they came forward and they performed. And we have to say, well done to all of them, even the coverage by the various media network and their social media platforms.
Sherry, do you get it? I'm getting a sense here that on a regular stage, where there are all the different facets that you can involve, the dancers on stage, the this, the props, the all of that, there are different things that captures the eye. But I'm getting a sense now, with COVID and all of these restrictions, it forced the artists to not have to worry about how the crowd is going to respond when he comes on, maybe what somebody does or doesn't do, but everything now is focused on him. He has to deliver. There's no crowd, there's no nothing, there's no nobody. And for one, I started wondering, but what do? You walk into a stage, there's nobody there. It forces you to dig deep within self and deliver. And you get the sense that that's what happened this year. Sherry?
Yes, what I would say, what this has done is to show the artists and help them to bring out the fact that they are capable, raise the level of confidence, because to be honest, to enter a stage and perform in front literally no one takes a lot from that artist, because you have to make sure your diction, your clarity, everything is on point, and to just come out there and deliver a song with little or no help. Because the reason why I'm using the word help, because a lot of artists, regardless if it's calypso or soca, feeds off the energy of the fans that are before them, and they had to just assume or imagine fans in the head. That's why you would have heard some of them while they're singing, and they would say, "Come, give me some fire on the live, give me some this on the live." You understand? So I think what that has done is really show them that within them there is greatness. We can do this. You don't always need to have as we say locally, a bandwagon around you in order to showcase what it is you can do. So on that, I say kudos to all of them.
They say that's what brings out the true mettle of a man, when there's no one else and he just has to depend on him and solely him.
Right.
No crowd, no background folk, no dancers, nobody. He has to dig deep. So we went through the Calypso competition, and of course the highlight of any independence celebration, as the team would appreciate, is the military parade. A scaled down version, real scaled down version this year. However, Sherry, take the conversation from there. Scaled down version, however,
phenomenal. The RGPF military parade aspect was very, very nice. I always say, people attend the military parade because it's normally a military parade and a rally. Not so much for the rally to hear the speeches, but to see our men and women and other uniform groups march across that stadium. In particular, the moment when the RGPF band will say, "This is our time," and do the display. And I sure you may have gotten goosebumps when you looked at that Jerusalem song that they used and they did the dance and so.
They took it to another level.
Oh, they took it to another level. It was beautiful. It was short, the entire, because you didn't have all the number of platoons, but I think it was a brilliant exhibition of our talent in terms of our men and women and the cadets and so that were on display. It It was just good. Mr. Williams was there as well. I know he was up front and close with it.
Because I saw somebody prancing around. The camera was speeding him up, and I said, well, who's this young boy? But then I realized it wasn't a young boy. It was you, Mr. Williams. There were cameras there, you know. You seem to have forgotten.
You're a gentleman and a scholar. I'll remember that. Thank you so much. Kudos to you. But no, as the parade, and what added this extra dimension was the overhead cameras, the drones, and I didn't see it because I was at the parade. But when I looked at it on TV and to see the way it followed Prime Minister, and then it gave because if you're seated in the stadium, you don't get to see the full glory of the choreography of the 47 or whatever but when you look at it with the drones up on above, and that looks so spectacular, and I was very, very, impressed. I thought, we felt it would have been scaled down, as we've all agreed to, but it wasn't scaled down. It was scaled down in numbers, but the actual presentation by the police, by the prisons, by the cadets, by the male, the female platoons, Coast Guard, you name it, SSU. Grenada, I keep saying Grenada did justice to the world, or to itself, for its celebrations. And I believe that it's the difficulty we have now. The standard is so high. I don't know, Joseph and Sharon, how we have to keep that up, because we're moving towards the 50th, and we're hoping that the 50th would be an explosion. So it's a matter now of the production team, Sharon and her team, and everyone else, to keep that standard, because we've set a standard which I must admit is very high, and there will be an expectation, and people want to know we are able to exceed that expectation, not go below. And overall, police and the military parade crowned it quite nicely for us. And I don't want to forget, it just so happens here, and I'm sure you would, because Joseph will remind you that Sunday is
Prime Minister's luncheon
and Valentine's. That's the important bit. And for not inviting him to the shows, I think you need to redeem yourself.
Now leave Sherry alone.
Thank you.
Sherry and I would make up for that. Don't worry.
I'm put on the spot. But seriously, we have the Prime Minister's luncheon and on Valentine's Day, and this is something we're looking forward to. That the elderly will be very much served and taken care of on this very special day, February the 14th. As we look forward to Prime Minister's luncheon. And
just to chip in here and let Joseph and the listeners know is that the Prime Minister's luncheon in 2021 is taking a difference as well. They would not be gathered at one location, but with different constituencies. You would have the elderly there being given their special treats. So it would not be at one location as in previous years. And Joseph, I know we're going down to time, but you missed one of the important aspects of our highlights. I really wanted us to touch a little bit. That's right. That night was a beautiful night. We had a great exhibition of talent, traditional mixed with modern. And I think all the various acts that performed that night need to be recognized. And as I said before, that was only a taste of what it is we do have to offer. So that was another spectacular event during our whole weekend of celebrations of our 47th anniversary.
What I would suggest, though, and I'm hoping, because and I know that Mr. Williams, while we've run out of time, as Sherry intimated, that the build up, we want to see a longer build up to independence. So, for instance, Sherry, we want to be able to see these traditional elements of our culture, not just 2 weeks or the week as part of the celebration, but maybe we can organize it that we have more greater conversations during the week, during different periods. We get the groups. Let's talk about it, because it's the only way. When you hear that the argument is that the culture is dying, it only dies, Sherry. And I'm going to leave Mr. Williams out of this. When individuals like you and I,
right, don't do what we are supposed to do.
So it means therefore.
Because I always say, taking a little piece from a recent interview with Miss Shirley Robinson, is that we have to accept the modern. We cannot get away from that, but we do have to have an appreciation of what is traditional and help those who are interested in the modern to, sort of blend and ensure that they know, well, this is what was and this is what is.
And that's what was, that is what is. It was 11 o'clock, and it's not exactly 11. Talk about what was and what is. Time runs when you're having fun. But let me just ask you, though, before you go, and I'm hoping that, because the future is uncertain, and as we've intimated, and I'm hoping that as a committee, that a blueprint will be captured, a template will be created, that if not doesn't serve maybe for next year, but somewhere in the future, because you can't just get in this within our lifetime, Sherry. Mr. Williams is probably at the age where he's looking to spend more time with the great grands. But for you and I, we probably still have we have some time, and you just never know that this cycle, life is indeed a cycle, and we may have to go through, God forbid, maybe 5, 10, 15 years down the line. I'm assuming that this is going to be a template set up that peradventure we have to go through this, even let's say next year. We can there could be some continuity, maybe not with Mr. Williams, not you. You can say, guys, we did this in 2021. Right. Here is it.
So someone could now come and build on it.
Yes.
Exactly. And added to that, folks, one of the things I'm looking at, and I'm glad Sharon is on air now, and we're going to have our meeting to speak to that, is an earlier start. We don't have to wait until we have a theme or a logo. Right. We can say just before Thanksgiving, after Carnival, the period, by September, we should start interacting with the media houses so that we can start discussing what is independence per se, not is what does it mean to have a celebration the last 2 or 3 weeks. But let us invite, as Joseph and I have often said, the Gloria Payne Banfield, all of the cultural ambassadors, people who can speak to meanings and can start having phone-in programs, having competitions, creating an atmosphere for our build-up. We do it for Carnival. We don't just wait for 2 weeks before. We do it 6 months before. And we have an earlier launch. So the programs, the media houses can have lots to do. They invite different organizations, because this is collaboration. Talk about what's going to be taking place in the parish of St. Mark's or the parish of St. Andrews, and then what would be their projects. So they have 3 or 4 months to look at it. So at the end of the day, there is this collaborative effort. It's not just, yes, the celebrations committee will have responsibility for the overall coordination, but it doesn't mean to say that we cannot have people co-opted onto the subcommittees in different areas, so that when we put on a show, as I say, if it's in St. Andrews, we collaborate with them with a particular theme or emphasis. So at the end, when we get to February like we are now, we will have already started for 3 or 4 months, and the build-up will be there, and everyone will take ownership. So that is what I'd like, in collaboration with the team and the public, and to invite the media houses to invite us, invite individuals, and we can have people come talk about what it is to be Grenadian, and what it is to celebrate our independence.
What I can safely say to the team that is here on behalf of the GBN, for GBN you're always welcome. We're family. And I don't need Mrs. Odette Campbell to say that to you. I can safely tell you that. On behalf of the entire GBM team, you'll always have a home with us here at the family. But unfortunately, all good things come to an end. We have crossed over onto 25 minutes on today. We have another guest that's waiting. But congratulations, well done to the team. We will take and build from the high points and the low points. We will still document so that next year we can build on it as a people collectively. Thank you, Mr. Williams, Chair of the National Celebrations Committee and the Public Relations Officer. You were saying, Mr. Williams?
Thank you. I just want to big up our Minister of Culture. She's been with us all the way. She's been very supportive, very helpful, and I must say, kudos to her. I'm very, very happy with her. First year for her, and she's done well.
Thank you very much. Sherry, your job is to go find it from the officials. Once we got a vaccine, when are we having intercall?
I thought you'd have told me to ask them, when are we going to get vaccinated?
Vaccine, exactly. I'm in line.
Sherry,
I'm ready.
Behave yourself. Thank you, folks. Always a pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you.
25 minutes on to the hour. We continue. We take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with you, though. We are expecting to link up with our folks from the Sister Isle, Salt EC. They have got some really, really, really exciting plans for Valentine's. Take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Our second performer tonight is named
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
The Grenada Food and Nutrition Council remind you to boost your immune system and give yourself a fighting chance against COVID-19. Consume foods that are rich in vitamin C, like fruits and vegetables, for example, oranges, grapefruit, mandarin, lemon, spinach, cabbage, and tomatoes. Vitamin B6 and folic acid that is found in chicken, turkey, fish, grain foods like oats, bread, local provisions, dry beans, and peas. Another immune system booster is vitamin E, found in nuts, corn, sunflower or canola oils, and leafy vegetables like spinach, broccoli, and kale. Iron, zinc, and vitamin D are also important important to strengthen your immunity. So try foods like lean meats, eggs, lentils, mackerel, tuna, and jacks. Our local spices, ginger, clove, and turmeric, among others, can help decrease inflammation and support the immune system. Remember to practice safe food handling. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council reminding you that a strong immune system is one of the best ways to fight COVID-19.
The best way to protect yourself from 2019 novel coronavirus is to avoid being exposed to the virus. Additionally, there are preventative actions that you can take to protect yourself and your family from the spread of respiratory viruses that can make you sick. These include stay home if you're sick, cover your cough, and wash your hands.
Stop the spread of germs that can make you and others sick. Cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. If you don't have a tissue, use your elbow. Wash hands often, especially after coughing or sneezing into a tissue.
You know, one day I woke up and, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. Nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You know you're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you have to...
Again, good morning to you. Welcome back to our viewers and our listeners. And those of you that's in GBN's TV channel, you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, wherever you are, right here in Classic. We want to say good morning and welcome to our special guest. She's linked up to us from overseas. She's traveled, and I can safely tell you that. She's not on island. So once you're not on an island, it means that you're overseas. Plain and simple. And it is Valentine's. We've been feeling the music. But you know what makes Valentine's really special, Keisha? There's Valentine's, the music, and there's the expectations of gifts, chocolates. And for Sol Easy, you guys are literally going all out. And here you have a little special secret that's taking place on the sister today. Talk to me about it. What's happening?
Hi, morning, Joseph, and morning to the listening public. Well, today we're just having one of our Spread the Love promotional activity at BBS in Carriacou, and also later on today at Grandland Service Station back on the mainland. Additionally, we will be giving out Cadbury chocolate tokens at all our retail outlets, just spreading the love to all our customers. As you know, this weekend it's Valentine's, and it's all about love, and it falls into our promotional team, which is Spread the Love. So we'll be spreading a lot of love with chocolates this afternoon from 4 p.m. at all our retail locations.
No.
So make sure you pop in around 4, because of course the treats are many, but of course we will not be able to supply everyone. So the early bird will catch the worm.
Well, not the worms. Is the sweet tooth in this case.
Chocolate.
You'll catch the chocolate. We're never going to assume, Keisha, that everybody knows where your outlets are. So we want to be very clear that people don't get mixed up and end up in the wrong place. Okay. So let's tell us exactly where your outlets are.
Okay. We are at David G. Otway Service Station along the Kirani James Boulevard and on the Paddock Main Road. Mm-hmm. We're also at Deco Service Center, which is at Tempe Mongay Junction. We're at Grand Anse, which is opposite the Food Fair Shopping Center. We're in Crowshoe St. Andrews at PB McQueen Service Station, and at R&R Service Station at St. Mary's in St. Andrews. That's the first station you'll meet after you come off the Granny Tank. And we'll be at Tivoli Service Center, which is at Tivoli in St. Andrews, and we're here at Carriacou. And additionally, our independent location at Brave Boy Supplies, you will also be able to get some of those treats.
It is always a sight to know, I know, for the customers, because a lot of times you hear persons they would argue, well, everything happens on the mainland. But I guess it's something. It was really meaningful to you as a company that you take the spirit of love onto the Sister Isle as well.
Yes. Well, Carriacou is never left out of any promotional activity that we have, but I'm just here today to support them in this activity. Of course, some of the promotions will be done with the assistance of our team up here, but today I'm just up here today to support them and to really thank our customers in Carriacou. As Saul being the loan provider here, it is in our interest, and we need to make sure that we take care of our customers here as well.
Spreading the love, Valentine's is here, but the promotion has been on for a while now. Talk to us about the promotion it is, Spread the Love.
Pardon me? Could you repeat?
I was asking you, we know that you're up there as part of Valentine's this weekend, doing your due, but all of this what's happening this weekend, falls into the bigger promotion, the Spread the Love campaign. Exactly. Talk to us about that.
Okay, yes, we've started a Spread the Love promotion, which started on January 26th, where we were distributing gift tokens, fuel vouchers, grocery vouchers, just basically giving some love back to our customers. We understand the tough economic times, and we just chose to do these soft promotions where we give back to you, all our customers, all our motorists who travels our service stations in our way, and that is just our way of sharing our love and our thanks and our appreciation for all your support and those loyal ones, just really just saying we love you for supporting Saul and making our product your brand of choice.
Indeed, making it the brand of choice. So you're standing in this your service station, and I walk up to you and I say, Keisha, give me 3 reasons, really 3 reasons why I need to be a customer of Saul. What would you tell me?
Well, number 1, you are guaranteed to get quality products. You will experience great service. It's something that we prize ourselves on, and that we ensure that you will be served as safely as possible, because safety is paramount in our operations, and that we want to ensure that every person that comes to our entities, whether it be at the service station or at our business locations, that they can return home safely to their families or back to their businesses safely, because we ensure safety is exercised as much as possible at all our locations.
And it's interesting that you say safety, Keisha, because safety in your line of work, it is certainly something, it's a highlight. Mm-hmm. It is one of your main focus, because God forbid, well, all we say is God forbid. We don't ever want that to happen. So you just want to encourage the folks that you go out today. You want to be safe. Well, anyway, let's just probably give us your customers 2 safety tips that customers should always recognize when they go to your service station. So I'm speaking here. I'm speaking here with Keisha Noel, and it's show Keisha speaking here with Keisha Noel, and she's the marketing officer of Sword EC, and this is all part of the Spread the Love campaign. The campaign started at the end of January, and certainly as they go through the month of February, I mean certainly it wouldn't hurt, given that it is Valentine's. What a better time to share the love, but definitely this weekend. And as they've said to you later on in the day, guess what they'll be doing at all of the Sol outlets, the service stations? Chocolate, guys. And not just any chocolate, you know. Keisha, did you actually say Cadbury chocolates?
Yes.
Wow.
There'll be some mini Cadbury treats, so that will be available for everyone that's visiting the station anytime from 4 p.m. this afternoon. But of course, so you need to get there early to ensure that you are able to get one of those tokens.
Folks, it is Cadbury. She did say Cadbury chocolates. Cadbury is not fly by night wash your foot and come chocolate. It is top quality chocolate. Yes. I know what is going to be a top quality experience from a top quality company. Keisha, well done. Keep the promotion flying high, and of course we're happy that you've decided to share the love, not just in Carriacou, but across the entire state of Grenada.
We believe our customers are of top quality, of great value to us, so we choose valuable and quality items whenever we're doing a promotion. So,
well, the quality of the giveaways speaks to the quality of the company. Thank you. It's Keisha Noel.
Have a great day.
Oh, you too, my dear.
Have a happy Valentine's to all the customers and yourself and the team.
Thank you. All the best to you.
All right, bye-bye.
Keisha Noel, and she's the marketing officer at Sol EC. Presently, she's up in Carriacou, and it's all part of Spread the Love campaign. From this afternoon, reminding you can go to the outlets and you can get sample-sized Cadbury chocolates. How do you say Cadbury chocolate 2 days before Valentine's and not fall in love with Sol EC? I'm telling you, what a way to do it. Peace and love with you, folks. JC loves you. It's about 8 minutes onto the hour of 12 o'clock, reminding you at the top of the hour. It's going to be the midday edition, a production of our News and Current Affairs department. But as I say my so long farewells goodbye to you, it's always a pleasure being here with you. It's a busy weekend. There is regional Super 50 cricket, and certainly we want to make sure you go out there, folks. Play safe, be good to yourself, be the best version of yourself, reminding you to love life and live life. Be good to the people that you meet on the way up life's ladder, because I promise you, no arguments, and that you'll meet them on the way down. And while we talk about being on the way, treating people good on the way up life's ladder, reminding you that inside of M&N Hardware, guess what they have it? You know what you need to remember? While it is now 8 minutes to 12.5. Just call M&N Hardware. Visit M&N Hardware. When you walk in, just say 12.5, and you'll see the magical look that appears on their face, because they have a crazy discount going on now. 12.5 discount on ladders. They have some really, really wonderful carpets and a whole lot of different things, patio chairs and a whole lot of things. Give them a call. Chinaman, M&N Hardware. The secret, the code is 12.5, and that's the discounts that you get inside of M&N Hardware. Some very top quality pre-selected items. But all good things must come to an end. 6 minutes onto the hour, we had to leave you here as we make way for the midday edition. Peace and love. JC loves you. Have yourself a really wonderful weekend, and if you do, you're still in the spirit of love. Happy Valentine's to all those of you that celebrate. And remember, Valentine's is not necessarily just for lovers, but it's for life. Because living is life, and life is all about love. The love that we share and we express to each other in one way or the other. Have a great one. I'm out of here.